Well, for most folks, the Old West is part of our history. But when you meet Don Winery, it's easy to tell the Old West is very much alive in everything he does. In a team report, we traveled to just outside of Sayre, Oklahoma, where the past is helping create a new future for an historic Oklahoma ranch. Amanda Fisher starts us off.
For Don Winery, every day at his Flying W Guest Ranch is a walk into the past.
What we're trying to do is build a small working town of what you'd seen in western Oklahoma in the 1890s, 1900s. We're looking for saddle makers, spur makers, people like that to move in that would want to work in our little community here, sell things on the internet and to our guests that come to visit us.
Guests at the Flying W can do more than take in the sights, however. The Flying W is a working guest ranch.
You can help us build fence, ride fence lines. It's not just go out and ride in single file. Here we don't ride in single file if you don't want to.
And the Flying W plans to expand its operations in the coming months to include a restaurant and sarsaparilla saloon.
What we're kind of doing is an agritourism, and it's a byproduct of the ranch, to help create additional economic impact for the area. Because when we're through with our town, we hope to hire somewhere between 50 to 60 people full time. So that's quite a bit of economic impact to rural Oklahoma.
But what about guests that have never ridden a horse before?
Oh no, riding a horse is kind of like riding a bicycle. Once you learn, you never forget. But we'll give riding lessons. A lot of times we do. And a lot of people want to do a trail ride, need a riding lesson first. And sometimes within 10-15 minutes, some people are already out on the trail. They can pick it up quick enough, and our horses are good enough that we'll take them on out and let them ride.
And whether guests prefer roughing it or sleeping comfortably, the Flying W has accommodations for everyone. But be prepared to decide how you want to spend your time.
It's not one of these prepackaged, deals. Here you come, you tell us what you want, we do what you want to do. You don't have to do what we want to do. We're here for you.
One staple of the Wild West was the buffalo. A former landowner discovered something that guests now get to help uncover.
He saw a bunch of bones sticking out of a cliff, and so he got a hold of the OU archaeological department. They came out and checked it out and found out that these were buffalo bones. Well, then they carbon dated them, found out it's about 2,000 years old. And so that started a brand new kickoff.
As part of the experience here at the ranch, guests have the opportunity to put their hands on a real piece of history. Our Elisa Hines is helping dig up the past.
Set against the cliffs of the Flying W Guest Ranch is the largest bison kill site in the Southern Plains. Archaeologists estimate over 800 bison were slaughtered here by early Native Americans.
The site dates from about 1700 to 2300 years ago, so we got 500 years of killing buffalo out here. These giant gullies that they trapped the buffalo in, they killed them with spears. This is before bow and arrow. And then they did all this butchering.
Natalie is part of an OU archaeology team that is painstakingly unearthing these bones to get a closer look into the lives of the earliest Oklahomans.
We want to see how the butchering process occurred, and the only way to do that is to start at the top and slowly work our way down. So we try to take this out. These are actual 1x1 meters. Here you can see these nails. So each student is assigned a 1x1 to work in, and they slowly, and this process takes weeks and weeks, as they know, you slowly dig down and uncover the bones.
One reason the work is so slow is the way the archaeologists have to uncover the bones.
And we use bamboo and brushes to very slowly remove the dirt. Our students find it a little hard to work with because it's like digging in concrete. And not only are we not able to use metal tools, we have to pick away at this concrete like we're trying to remove a sidewalk around the bones.
They then sift the dirt to find tiny pieces of bones and other items they would otherwise miss.
And we find teeny tiny little flakes from the stone tools they use to butcher these animals in here. Typically quartzite. And so that is another reason to be very careful. These teeny tiny flakes are smaller than my smallest fingernail.
Guests at the Flying W Guest Ranch can take a trail ride out to the kill site, and at times even have an opportunity to help the archaeologists.
Okay, so you just kind of
Just, yeah, slowly. Perfect. This tip's going to be real fragile because it's hanging out here.
I don't want to work on
Nope,
it.
that's fine, right? And here you can try to look if there's more to this bone there.
Okay. It's actually kind of thin. Digging up bones and learning about them, making a stay at the Flying W Guest Ranch a true historical experience.